Hey, what up guys? It's Jack and welcome back to another video, and please let me know how the sound sounds, so to speak, because this is actually the first video with my brand new mic. So far I've done a few sound tests on it, but let me know. It's so far from the playbacks that I've done sounds pretty good. So because I noticed in my last few videos and even on my stream, like I could be halfway done with a commentary, for instance, and then the sound would just dip lower and lower and lower, and I was like, oh boy. So it's like, yeah, let's get a new mic and let's make sure it's like a really good one this time, at least one that's at least up to standard. So decided to go with it, and so far it's only been a few minutes, and I'm very happy with it actually. And the best thing of all is I don't really have to be close to it, and I've even installed the filters and everything in order to keep the background noise away because of where I live and because of where the windows is and what's on the other side of that window. So so yeah, hopefully it's really good this time, and please, some feedback would be greatly requested. But let's get right into the nitty-gritty, because this is a very exciting video, because the developer of XDefiant, also known as Mark Rubin, who is also a former Call of Duty developer as well, actually responded to my tweet. Because the other day when I tweeted at him, it was actually yesterday. I thought it was a very, very interesting question, because and an important one as well, because as of recently I've heard that Fortnite will or has banned the Cronus or Zen Max. So I was like, I wonder if XDefiant's going to do anything about this. So I actually, and I don't remember anybody tweeting at Mark Rubin about it, so I'm like, you know what, if anything has a decent chance of getting a response, it would be this. So here's the way it is. I'm going to put it up on the screen as best as I can. I'm still trying to figure out on how to make this a little bit smaller, so that way, or to put it in a certain part of the screen on my on this software, which is DaVinci Resolve. So I still haven't figured that out yet. I might have to look it up some other way or something like that, because sometimes you can't figure everything out. But anyway, so I tweeted at him. I recently heard that Fortnite will be banning or has banned the Cronus Zen Max. Any plans to do something like that for Play XDefiant? And he responded to me, we've actually been discussing our options recently. No decision made yet. So, and of course I responded with, that's good. Can't wait till the game drops, and happy Thanksgiving to you and the team. Now, the thing is that the game is going to come out in 2023, and hopefully sooner rather than later. But at the same time, if it has to be later, then hey, let it be later, because a complete game is what we want. I know come January they're going to have the console beta testing going on behind the scenes or whatnot, or the closed betas or whatever they're doing. And the thing is that we already know there's not going to be any skill-based matchmaking in pubs in the game. And Mark has already pretty much, I think I made a video about it as well. He's already pretty much given his insight on it, and which I agreed with, and which a lot of us would and do. And on top of that, I'm just very excited for the game in general. I'm excited for this to be a game that kind of feels like Call of Duty, but exactly isn't. And, you know, like I said, the arena first-person shooter or the arcade first-person shooter has been kind of neglected lately in favor of other things, whether it's more tactical style of play, or whether it's because of the popularity of Battle Royale, that so many games out there are just basically trying to basically just get their hands on and just profit from, which is understandable from a business perspective. Obviously, it's something that you can't really afford to avoid, really, when you're talking about millions, if not billions of dollars that can be up for grabs. So when you put it that way, it's definitely something that you want to consider, which I understand. But at the same time, if it's done right, I still truly, humbly believe that that the arena shooter or the arcade first-person shooter has a chance of making a comeback, and they can actually coexist. That's one of the things that a lot of people may forget, is the fact that they may coexist. And we obviously know, going back to the original topic of discussion here, we know that the Cronus and Zen Max are a huge problem, and again, they're being promoted because of business. For instance, like the GameStop thing. Like I remember seeing somebody on Twitter, like the GameStop person was telling either that person or the parent of that person, saying, hey, you want your kid to like have an edge in the game or whatnot, get this, you know. And there it is, a Cronus Zen Max for like $100 or some shit like that. I think you can get even cheaper ones on Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. But they're in back order, as far as the last I heard. They're in back order. Like, so many people are getting this shit, it's ridiculous. And I don't think anybody should have an advantage and stuff like that. You know, we already know that anti-cheat's got to be a big deal with this game, especially since it's going to be free to play. But when you're looking at the console side of thing, which the majority of players are on console, or even people that play on PC but just decide to use a controller instead of mouse and keyboard, you know, the game has got to be as clean as possible, so that way it has a bigger longevity, so that way more people play it, and so that way the playing field remains even. It's what I call keeping the game pure, so to speak, right? I want the game to be pure, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that wants the game to be pure. I think that XDefiant, for again, not just for personal reasons, but for reasons of my for my love of these types of games and the way that they've been talking about, like just the fact that they're not going to be having skill-based matchmaking in pubs alone is worth the price of admission. And on top of that, if the game were to have a price tag on it, I would gladly pay it. I would gladly pay it. $70 or $60, however much it would be, or even $100 for countless hours worth of fun and enjoyment is worth it to me. You know, there's people, like I was talking to a friend about this earlier before I started recording this commentary. People can go for a long time, if not a whole lifetime, without finding joy or happiness or even fun, at least in not copious amounts, right? At some points, right? And the thing is, like, there's fun, joy, and all that kind of stuff. It's priceless, you know. But if you are pretty much guaranteed to have that fun, or a damn good chance to have that fun, or just to get it more than what you usually would otherwise, for anywhere from like $60 to $100, if you ask me, that's worth it. Especially if it's just a one-time payment. But hell, I'd pay for it every year if I were having fun. If I could have the kind of matchmaking that we had in Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, you know, in those games, if I could have that kind of matchmaking, you know, without all the BS, of course, right? Yes, by all means, even if I do struggle in the beginning, and if you guys have been here long enough, you guys know that at the beginning of every single Call of Duty that I played back in the day, back before all the stuff that they've been implementing now, I would always struggle in the beginning of a Call of Duty, right? Because again, there's differences to be learned. It's like they toss something new at you every year. And then I would always be like a 1.7 towards the beginning of the game's launch, and then about a month to 2 months later, sometimes 3, depending on that game, I would be back to my average, which would be anywhere from a 2.5 to a 3, depending on the game. But let's just say about a 2.5. So, I mean, I would literally climb from a 1.7 to a 2.5 pretty damn quickly. Once I've made those adjustments, once I've gotten used to the game and more familiar with the game, it's part of the cycle. And those are games without skill-based matchmaking. It's the cycle that we go through every single year. Every Call of Duty is not always going to be, like, you're not always going to be as naturally good in every single Call of Duty, or even any first-person shooter for that matter, right off the bat all the time. You know, you got to get to know the game, you have to understand and get used to it. There's muscle memory to build and all that stuff. But anyway, I've already gone overtime in this commentary, so please let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. Hopefully Mark Rubin and the team will be able to ban the Cronus or Zen Max and stuff like that, and hopefully the anti-cheat will be really good. I mean, people tell me that Valorant's anti-cheat is where it's at, so hopefully they get something like that. But they're probably looking into it, man. They're thinking about this a hell of a lot more than we are, because they're actually developing the game, and they want to make the fans happy, and they know that the happier the fans are, that the more the game will profit and the more it will become popular, and yada yada yada. So anyway, that's all I got for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope the sound quality was a lot better. Please let me know down in the comment section. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.